Friends, welcome back to Arc Tutorials. This is CSS full tutorial series for absolute beginners. In today's episode, we are going to learn about the opacity property in CSS. Using opacity, we can set and control the transparency of an element. Oftentimes, it's used to increase the user experience and make it more relevant, elegant, and professional look. Let's go ahead and learn all about it in today's episode. This is part 24 of this particular playlist. I have already covered 23 episodes. Make sure that you go through them. I have covered all the use cases from basic to advanced on all these properties that would help you learn and master CSS. Alright, so today we are learning about CSS opacity property. Pretty simple, straightforward, nothing to sweat there. So CSS opacity property will help us specify the opacity and the transparency of an element. Remember, the range and the range of the value of opacity ranges from between 0 to 1. Okay, that's the min and max value that we can provide for opacity. Let's go ahead and I'll show you that in the hands-on. I'm going to use the same file that we are continuing for where we learned about combinators, so that should be fine because it's relatively simpler and straightforward. Inside the container, I'm going to add a simple div and let's call it opaque, and inside this we can have an image. Alright, and I'm going to use any one image for now, and for the CSS we can write opaque class name, and we can write opacity, and here you can say 1, that means display. So let's go ahead, open that file, so you can see here the image is visible. Okay, now what we will do, slowly start decreasing that. So now you see it's opaque, right? It's not totally transparent. So one way to do that is we can mix things and say on hover you can make opacity 1. So that way you can give it a little beautiful CSS effect of hover. When it's not hover state, it's opaque, but when you mouse over it, it will be transparent, that is visible, right? And so on. If you make it 0, it will not be visible in the page, right? So 0.1, so it increases from 0 to 1. So you can give any value between 0 and make it appear like that, right? So pretty straightforward, simple. I'm sure you have used this effect in many websites and as part of experience. Do let me know if you have seen any such experience in other website. Alright, that is, I'll keep it quick and simple this episode. It's just that you mention the opacity property and you give the value between 0 and 1. Okay. In the next episode, we are going to learn about CSS units. Units are extremely important. You might have seen me giving values like 24 pixel, 40 pixel, etc. But a lot of you will also see values like EM, REM, etc. percentages. So I'm going to cover that all of those details in the next episode. That's CSS units. So make sure you join me in the next episode. I hope you're having fun learning. Do let me know if you have any questions or feedback. Thank you for joining. See you in the next episode.